What's up, everybody? I'm Dr. Jeremy Hoffman. I am the David and Jane Cohn scientist here at the Science Museum of Virginia. And it's that time of year again. I'm going to share with you my top 5 climate stories of the past year. Number 5, the IPCC Working Group 3. Capping off the final part of the 6th assessment report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the Working Group 3 chapter called Mitigation of Climate Change was published in early 2022. Mitigation, when it comes to climate change, means to avoid. So this chapter is all about how we can avoid more climate change by drastically reducing our heat-trapping gas emissions as quickly as possible. The big take-home message: we need to be doing more to reduce our heat-trapping gas emissions as quickly as possible, especially here in North America, where we tend to have higher amounts of heat-trapping gas emissions per person than anywhere else in the entire world. More locally, actions that can help us further reduce our heat-trapping gas emissions would be supporting policies like more public transportation, more bike lanes, fewer personal vehicles, and more houses for more people in smaller geographical areas. The good news is that low heat-trapping gas emissions energy technologies like solar and wind have gotten much cheaper since 2010 and are predicted to continue to be so in the future. So the longer we wait, the harder it's going to be, but the easier it has become in the meantime. So let's get to work. Number 4, COP27. World leaders met in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt in November to discuss the pathways necessary for us to reduce our heat-trapping gas emissions to avoid the worst impacts of climate change. Spoiler alert, while there weren't huge advancements made along the commitments to reduce heat-trapping gas emissions, there was another big win. For the first time, countries agreed on guidelines for funds related to loss and damages. This is when wealthy countries provide funding to under-resourced countries to pay for the severe effects of climate change that they're already experiencing. While this is a big win for helping us to spread resources to the countries that are feeling the effects of climate change first and worst, the details of how exactly this is going to work are still being established. Number 3, heat wave. Meteorological summer 2022 was another one for the record books, going down as the 3rd warmest nationally and among the top 20 warmest here in Virginia. In fact, at one point, nearly 100 million US residents, or roughly 1/3 of our country's population, were under some sort of advisory for extreme heat risk from the National Weather Service. Nearly 10,000 individual weather station records were broken for maximum daily temperatures. And according to the Virginia Department of Health, nearly 3,000 Virginians experienced heat-related illnesses this past summer. With all this talk about heat, you might be asking yourself, well, what are we doing about it? That brings us to number 2, extreme heat in Virginia. Since 2017, the Science Museum of Virginia has been helping teams of community scientists measure extreme heat exposure in Virginia cities to understand where to take action first. This past summer, we saw dozens of tree planting campaigns being undertaken by community organizations all over the state in order to throw shade on climate change. And number 1, here comes the story of the hurricane season. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, and in advance, climatologists issue hurricane outlooks that help to advise the public on how many storms they might expect and how strong they might be. These outlooks are based on the relationship between hurricane strength and that season's expected ocean temperatures, as well as the state of La Nina or El Nino, and some other things that help us understand how strong a hurricane might be. Outlooks for 2022's hurricane season were pretty much unanimously favoring an above average year, but that largely didn't pan out right away. In fact, August didn't see a single hurricane strength storm, the first time since 1997. But that quiet period obscured what would happen next. And that's a reminder that it only takes just one storm to completely transform a community. Hurricane Fiona wiped out Puerto Rico's electrical grid and killed 21 people. Hurricane Ian, which would wind up being the 5th strongest storm to make landfall in the US over the last 60 years, wound up killing hundreds of people and totally demolished entire neighborhoods in western Florida. While Virginia was largely spared from the impacts of these storms, We need to be prepared for the threats of hurricanes now and into the future. Summer 22 was the 50th anniversary of Hurricane Agnes, which to this day remains one of the worst hurricane-related flooding events ever seen on the James River. Go to ready.gov to learn more about making a preparedness kit for you and your family for next hurricane season. Well, there you have it, everybody. Heat, hurricanes, and heat-trapping gases. Thanks for following along for yet another astounding year of climate science in the world around you. Visit smv.org to keep up with everything we're doing here, and have a great holiday season.